The setting of formula in UBS stock control is done under housekeeping. So you go into housekeeping and do general setup. And under page 5, you will see a number of formula that you can define. So the first one corresponds to quantity, and this is followed by price, discount, tax, and there's also a number of other formulas that you can define. Now when defining formula, if you are not familiar with the format that the formula needs to be specified, there are a number of examples down here that you can use as a reference. So the first 4 examples correspond to quantity, and then there's some example on how you define the price discount. Now for the purpose of our tutorial, the example that we used in our case study involved converting carton to meter. So when we invoice a customer for our standard call or deluxe call, we will be specifying the quantity ordered in the form of carton. But then the unit price is defined in the form of meter. So we need to be able to get the system to automatically convert the quantity in the form of carton to meter. So to do the formula, we need 2 variables. One variable that corresponds to carton. So I'm going to use the variable here called xqty1 to define carton, and the other variable called xqty2, I'm going to use it to define meter. So with these 2 variables, I can then define the formula. So in order to convert from carton to meter, I need to take the value that's in the variable called xqty1 and multiply it by the value that's in xqty2, and that's what does the conversion for me. So once I've defined it, I can then exit from here. Next, we'll need to go and define an item for our deluxe and standard call. So we go into item maintenance and select item file maintenance. So I'm going to add a new item, and that's called C001, and that represents the generic item for our call. So it has a description of call. In order to apply the formula when you're invoicing this item C001, you need to check on the box called quantity formula. By checking this box called quantity formula, the system will automatically will prompt you for the value that corresponds to the 2 parameter, i.e. the carton and the meter, in order for it to apply the formula. So once you've done that, you save it and exit from here. Next, we'll create an invoice to invoice the sale of the standard call and deluxe call. So to do that, you go into transaction and do an invoice. So we'll do an add, and the invoice number is 4,000, and the customer in this case is Suntronic. So when you accept the header information, you can now go and enter the line item details. So the product that we're looking at is our call, so it's item code C001. Now the first entry that we're going to make is for a standard call. So we'll type in the description standard call. Now as you would notice over here, when we set item code C001 to apply the quantity formula, the quantity field is automatically bar, which means that I cannot enter a quantity into that field. So in order for me to enter the quantity, I need to use the down arrow button that's next to the field called quantity. So if I click on that, the system will automatically prompt me for the 2 variables that I've defined against the formula. The first one being carton and the next one being meter. So as per our example, we're going to create an invoice for 5 cartons of standard call, which is converted to 50 meters per carton. So we'll enter the 2 variables and then we'll press OK. Now the system will then automatically convert the 5 cartons of standard call into 250 meter based on the formula. And the unit price per meter is 250, and this will create an aligned amount of $625 for our standard call. So I'll now save it, and I'll enter the next line, but this time is for our deluxe. So I'll type in deluxe call, and similarly the quantity field is bar, so I need to use the down arrow button to bring out the parameter panel again. So in this case, it's 7 carton of deluxe coal, and it's 80 meters per carton. So I type in the corresponding amount, and then I press OK. So the deluxe coal of 7 carton is converted to 560 meters, and the unit price is $3 per meter, and this is converted into airline amount of $1,680. And again, I save it. So once you've done that, you will notice that the invoice amount for that is the same as what we have in our case study. So you can now accept the invoice.